Hey everyone, welcome in this new video. In today's video, I will teach you how to play the Enforcer. Now this is a pretty difficult ship, and most people don't know how to play it, which is why many people avoid it at all costs. Now, first of all, let's get ahead to the stats of the Enforcer. Now this is officially the commander of the game, and one of the most important ships on the battlefield. You want to keep them alive at all costs, just because they do great participation in battles, and they are really skillful players. This is one of the most rarest ships you can find in the game, uh, in ranked, because not many people play it in ranked, and I totally understand that, because this is just it gets outplayed by many ships. Like the Interceptor outplays it, the Reaper outplays it, the Guardian outplays it. Um, but yeah, you have to use your mobility into your advantage, which is really interesting. It's a really interesting ship. I really like to play it. Um, so yeah. Now, good loadouts for the Enforcer is not something like this. This is a self-created setup, and I will show you in a minute how I played with it in a replay. And I really like this loadout. This is one of my favorite Enforcer loadouts. I created it myself in casual, just so you know. If you really find this interesting, we can call this the Marine Force 1 setup, so you can just copy it and you can just play it if you want to. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how this setup goes in play. Okay, so this is a replay, and this is just a measurement of how you should play this setup. I won't say every Enforcer is the same, but we will also go over to the mistakes that I made, because there are a lot of mistakes probably that I made. The thing with this loadout is that it is pretty passive with the sniper cannon there, because you stay at long range, things like that. That's not that great. Okay, so they had two fixes, and we lost this game just because we played too passive, and we also had a floater, so that's the reason why we lost. So we can blame the floater actually for this. You can see I play at long range, I dodge the mortars, and that's actually what you want to do. You want to be, you are squishy, so you need to outmaneuver people's shots. Now, this is, in my opinion, the fourth best loadout in this game, but I don't think many people will agree. But I really love to play this one, it's really fun. So you can see it right there. I deal damage, play in the front lines a little bit, and then I retreat there because I could have been shot down already here at this point. So that is basically how difficult this ship actually can be. So you can see here I do cover fire and stuff like that, because that's actually what you want to do. You want to strafe at this point here where my orange marker currently is. You want to do this and then keep shooting. And don't overdo it, because like you can see right here, this is just not how you are supposed to play the Enforcer officially. But I try to hold the front lines, and you can see that I waste a lot of unnecessary HP, which is also a bad thing. So there are a lot of things that I can learn. So you can see, even if you have like 3 years of gameplay and 3 years on the Enforcer, it's still a really challenging game to play. It's a really challenging ship, and you can see right here, another task of the Enforcer is to protect your teammates. And that is pretty easy with the Tesla shield. That's the good thing about the Tesla shield, versus the stun bolt, but the stun bolt is actually way more valuable than the Tesla shield. I wish they buffed Tesla shield a little bit, because it got heavily nerfed in the past, but There is nothing we can do about it. It is what it is. I wish Rovio changed this. Now you can see I try to fight at all costs, and I really try my best to defeat this shooter, but I stood no chance. I tried my best, and here you can see the floater. Please report this person. Why the fuck would you float here? And this is a terrible setup because this is only artillery. So that was another thing that I immediately realized. Oh, this person has yeah, this person has close range as weakness because you only have one close range weapon, and it isn't even a good composition. So yeah, right now you can also see what damage I did. You don't see anything outstanding with this loadout, so it isn't one of the best loadouts. But you can see right here, if you play it correctly, this is the amount of damage that you can get out of it, and it is even higher than a shooter sometimes. But shooters are just bad players. You can just see that right here. You can just see that at this point. Though I have way higher gear score, so that makes sense. But that is practically how difficult the enforcers are to play. They are definitely S tier difficulty because you can't outlearn it. You can't outlearn it. That's just impossible. Now there are way better loadouts, of course. There are way better loadouts than this one, and I will tell you one, and that is the double grenade setup with a mine, and that is something that I got from Goodbye, which is also a really good enforcer player. But we're just gonna continue playing this loadout. So as an enforcer, you want to keep the front line, and I will show you in a minute another loadout that is pretty good as well, but it is more difficult to play because this one has self regen and stuff like that, which is really nice, but it's slow. That's the thing with this loadout. It's slow, and that's the thing. So that's the weakness. But other than that, I don't really see that much of a weakness because you can just evade the railguns at long range. You can come close. Okay, so I will show you in a minute how you play with this setup, which is the second best setup in the entire game. And we also have another one if you really want to play the solo enforcer. And I will show you a replay of how you are supposed to play that one, and that was a replay from in the past. So I will give you actually 4 different types of loadouts that you can choose from. Okay, so right here we have the uh, fifth best enforcer setup, and I will show you here in this replay how it's supposed to be played, and this was on my past account before it got scammed. And you can see really good items, and there were certainly big things here where I needed to watch out for, such as this, like that, those little things, they keep coming back and back. But that's basically the thing with the enforcer. It has infinite skill cap, and that's what makes it so fun to play. I like that the most out of all these ships. And there you can see 2.5 crit, deploying mines. That's basically how you want to play this setup. You want to fire the flare first, then stun the target, increasing your HP by points later on. So this setup is ineffective at low league. Here you can also see how I'm playing it. So it's stunned, then the stun got broken. Really hate it when people do that because it's unnecessary. And boom, 1400 damage. Stunned, and yeah. That is practically how you play this setup. You want to stun as much as you can and increasing your HP over time. And here you can see my current HP. I haven't really been in a lot of fights. So you want to play with this setup carefully because you only have one movement ability, Overboost and Nitro. So you need to be really, really, really careful with this. Now you can see it's a 2 versus 1, but the shooter is almost dead. So, yeah. We're practically sitting ducks. And then you can see that nice crit right there. It was really awesome when I saw that crit. I was like, oh, finally, I have new hope. Here it turned into a 2 versus 1, and this proves how actually good the Enforcer can be. I evaded that railgun shot right there, missed the blast cannon, stunned the enemy, and yeah. I just continued attacking. And this is probably one of my most toughest battles that I have ever had because, well, I was just really trying my hardest best to win this. But in the end, yeah, we won. Even if it doesn't look like this, like winning, it more looks like losing, but you can see this target was down by the flare gun, which was one of my best items back then. It had 4 legendary perks, and it was just an amazing item. But the items is not what counts here, it's the skill. And there you can see I equipped my stun bolt, but unfortunately I missed it. The player evaded it, and I was getting even more damage here. So this was the person where I was playing against, Frost Mortar Spammer. And you can see that this loadout, it's not optimal against a Frost Mortar user, because here you can see 1190 damage. And yeah, that's just, nah, it's just a no-go. You can see I tried to increase my HP by a little bit, then I saw this, and yeah. Then you start asking yourself, what the hell? And now I was pushing, because he was only firing at there and not here. So I was thinking, let's make a surprise attack. So that is practically how you play the Enforcer. You want to play aggressive at some point, but you also need to know when to push, because else you waste HP unnecessary. Here you can see how it goes. The stun blocks the heals, and slowly the target will be killed by the flare gun. What also works is then fire your blast cannon and then use the stun. That's actually even a better option because your weapons will be on cooldown. But this is the reason why people should not underestimate an Enforcer. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope more people will play the Enforcer in the future. I'm sorry if I didn't use music on the background this time, but I just don't want to wake anyone because it's just morning here, you know? So I'll see you in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed. And sorry if I didn't show how to play the second setup, but I can do that into another video. Goodbye and have a nice day.